and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
Welcome to Steer the Line, where every Friday we give you NFL analysis, fantasy football breakdowns, and sports betting previews. I'm Christian Giordani, joined alongside lou-desmo and Rocky Giordani. Now let's get ready to steer the line.
Christian, how do I get rid of the winners and whiners background?
Well, you go to your settings and take off your green screen. But I don't know if that's the best question to ask when we're live on radio.
I know, just saying. Here we are, Steer the Line. Great to have everybody here. Go ahead. You're opening the show. Sorry.
Yeah.
On you.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Steer the Line, where we get all of your NFL fantasy football advice, betting breakdowns, and NFL news. NFL Week Season 1 is in the books, loud. I think I have a very bold
NFL and college every weekend now. And by the way, what's really exciting to me is starting in early November, because there's college teams. I think the MAC and the SWAC are going to play Tuesday and Wednesday nights. There's going to be almost a month and a half where there is football every single night, from like the first week of November to 2 weeks before Christmas.
Yes.
Also, there's Christmas games. There's a Christmas triple header this year. And you've got the 12-team expanding college playoff, which Notre Dame's not going to be in. But did you see that horrible loss Notre Dame took last week?
Yes, I did.
Northern Illinois University comes into Notre Dame Stadium and beats the Irish 16-14.
And I believe they were paid how much to beat them? $1.5 million? Yeah, $2 million.
Yeah, $5 million.
$5 million just to get your butts whooped.
This is not the first time under Marcus Freeman, the coach at Notre Dame, that this has happened. This happens every year since he took over. Last year, it was Marshall came into Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame. And the year before that, it was somebody else that is a cupcake. Every year, he's losing one of these games. And it's unacceptable. You can't open the season at 20th ranked Texas A&M, win that game, and then come to your home opener where you're paying a cupcake to come in so you can get an easy win in your home opener and lose. I do not bet on teams that I'm fans of generally, because I believe that is a bad betting strategy, because you're blinded by, if you either love a team or hate a team, please don't bet one way or another on them, because you're not seeing it straight. I would strongly suggest to Christian that he not bet on the Dodgers or the Rams, because I simply don't believe that you can emotionally separate yourself. Anyway, college football was great last week. I am, by the way, over on Winners and Whiners, where my official picks are tallied on that network. I'm 7 out of 10 in college football so far this season. I'm hitting at 70%. So you may want to get over there and get some of my premium bets. Last week, I had the Ole Miss Rebels minus 42.5, and they covered. Bowling Green plus 35 at Penn State, and they covered. I missed on Georgia Tech minus 3 at Syracuse. I am now a regular guest on Tuesday nights on Sports Rage, which is on Sports Grid Radio, and also you can get Sports Grid TV on YouTube TV. That appearance, I had Seahawks minus 4.5 at Broncos covered. No, that's this week. My picks on Sports Rage this week: Seahawks minus 4.5, Broncos, Chiefs. Last week. Seahawks minus 4.5, Broncos covered. Chiefs money line, Ravens covered. Falcons -2.5 at Steelers. Oh my God, did Kirk Cousins look terrible? Chargers -3 at Raiders because the Raiders will always find a way to lose. And Eastern Michigan University +27.5 at the Washington Huskies, which they covered by half a point. And Ole Miss, again, I had them -42.5 with the Blue Raiders coming into town. So pretty good week last week. If you caught me either here on Steer the Line or on Winners and Winers. And by the way, big announcement coming up soon. Christian knows what it is, but you can't tell anybody yet because it's not official. But we may be moving up in the world in a big way.
Yes, sir.
So, hey, Christian, you're coming along for the ride, buddy. Woohoo! All right, NFL news, and then I'm going to get into some college NFL picks.
NFL news. What's new? Deshaun Watson got his 25th allegation in 2 years. And I think I have a very bold statement to make as a analysis.
Well, let me guess. He's done.
No, aside from that, I think Deshaun Watson is a better person than he is a player. That's how bad he's been playing.
Oh, you know what I think? Okay, I'm going to get deep into the conspiracy theory weeds here. Deshaun Watson has probably been since Mike Ditka gave up his entire draft for Ricky Williams, who liked smoking pot more than he liked playing football, and ended up being the same size as Jamarcus Russell, Mr. Purple Drink himself. I think it's quite possible the Cleveland Browns are bankrolling this woman who's brought these accusations against him, because if he gets kicked out of the NFL, they're released out of his contract. They still owe him $185 million.
Yep.
What?
Guaranteed.
That's brutal.
I never understood why they fully guaranteed all of his contract at all. Especially for you don't do that with anyone.
He should never have been allowed to stay in the NFL. He is a serial sexual predator. And I hate to say that, but dude, there's plenty of evidence. I mean, sorry, when 20-something different women now 1 or 2, okay, 5, 10, 20,
25 now. This is the 25th. And
this one says she's got
video evidence.
Other witnesses.
Yep.
Oh. Anyway, my prediction is the Cleveland Browns are going to end up not having to pay Deshaun Watson that full contract. Just saying. Is there anybody in a worse situation quarterback-wise than the Raiders? Yes.
Right.
You know who it is?
Miami.
The Miami Dolphins.
Now, I have an ethical question for you. This is Tua Tagovailoa's third concussion in 2 years. This is he has a major history of it now. Is it time for him to consider walking away from the sport?
It is time for him and his family to consider that. You know what it's not time for? Anybody else to tell that man what to do.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got a close friend that was at the Benghazi attack. And he is in the movie. Well, I wouldn't say a close friend. Well, he and I became kind of close friends. All right. So I know a guy pretty well that was in the Benghazi attack. He was, I'm not going to drop any names, but he's prominent in the film that they made, the 13 Hours, Secret Soldiers in Benghazi. Anyway, dude was a special forces guy, got terribly sick with a really bad intestinal disease. He had to leave the armed forces because of it. And because he missed it so badly, despite the protestations of everyone in his world, wife, kids, friends, pastor, everybody told him don't do it. He lied to the armed force group that he was in and said he had been cured and got himself back reinstated and went back to clandestine missions for all over the world. And he is dealing with, and he was never cured of it. He said he used to have blood come out of certain orifices where it's not supposed to come from pretty consistently. And this is a guy, but he loved, he could not do that thing. Okay, he is actually now cured of it now. Once he got out back again, he got more treatment and they figured out what it actually was and they got him cured of it. The guy runs 10 miles a day. He's in fantastic shape. He's now in his 50s. But, nobody can tell another man what to do, right?
No, they cannot. But for this young man, he's obviously a competitor. The team was down 31-10, and he put his head down and tried to make a play happen. You don't see many quarterbacks in the leagues doing that anymore.
Boxers used to die in the ring routinely.
Yes.
Anytime anybody gets into a UFC ring, they are risking their life. Back in the 60s and 70s, people used to die in auto racing all the time. All the time. Go watch the movie Ferrari and look at the number of drivers who died during the course of that film, which covers about a year and a half. It was common. If that's your bliss, if that's your thing, no one can tell you. And I am sure his family would miss him terribly if something horrible happened to him. But the fact is, his family's going to be financially taken care of. Everybody takes risks in life. The question is, when are you personally at a place where you're not willing to take a certain amount of risk anymore? Nobody can make that decision for him.
Yes.
And that's where I came down on it.
Yeah, and no one can make that decision for him. But this is a decision he is going to have to really, really truthfully think about, in my own opinion, because there are things bigger than football, truth be told.
I faced an existential choice. I was in my late 20s. I had trained my whole life to be an actor. I have a master's degree in performing arts from the University of California in performing arts. After about 4 or 5 years of doing stage acting and talking to some agents in Hollywood, I realized that it was going to be an extremely difficult path, and I probably had a very small chance of ever getting to the top of that mountain, and I walked away. I know people that are still chasing it, that are my age, and they're waiting tables in LA. Yep. Or they're teaching children's theater to pay for the fact that they're still in community theater groups. That's fine. Not the choice I made. And I'm glad I made it. But nobody could make that decision for me. I don't care how many people would come to me and tell me, Lou, this is the wrong choice. Lou, you're never going to be successful with this. Lou, you're never going to make any money. You're never going to be able to have a family. You're blah, blah, blah. If I had that, if that was my major only desire, there's no way you talk me out of it. Yes. So it's going to be to his decision and his decision alone. Shall we talk about some betting?
Yes, let's shall.
Oh, one more piece of huge NFL news. Christian McCaffrey has been ruled out for this week. And not only has he been ruled out for this week, he may go on injured reserve. That's a minimum of 4 weeks. Apparently, he was in so much pain on Thursday without really even practicing that they wanted to go take him, have an MRI, and find out if there's something further that's wrong. Do you know what his issue is?
He has a Achilles strain, which is it's huge.
Dude, that you shoot horses with that.
It's a calf / Achilles strain.
Yeah, that's bad. That's terrible for a running back
on the same leg. So
yeah, no. I look. That's another guy that it's like, okay, what more do you have to prove, right? I love watching him play. He has been a fantasy guy for me that has done fantastic when I've had him. Fortunately, he's not playing this week because I'm playing against him in my fantasy league. So I'm like, woo, dodged that bullet. But then again, Josh Allen only scored 9 points and he's my quarterback. So I'm a little on edge this week. Yeah, that's another situation that bears watching. How bad is Joe Burrow's wrist? How bad is Kirk Cousins' Achilles? How many quarterbacks did we see last week that just sucked?
A lot, man. Kirk Cousins,
Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers,
Caleb Williams,
Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels was okay.
He was all right.
Man, there's a lot of crappy quarterback play. Gardner Minshew he should be in the UFL. There's a bunch of guys playing quarterback in the NFL right now that you just go, oh my God, you look like Notre Dame's quarterback did last week. Tua threw 3 picks before he got hurt.
What? First one was not his fault. I watched that hit him in the shoulder pads, man.
That is his fault.
That hit him in the chest plate. His head
hit him in the shoulder pad. He threw a pass to a guy who wasn't looking. So they weren't, obviously they're not on the same page. Okay. Let's let that one go. Let's let that go. How many quarterbacks would you put in your top 10 right now? Name me the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. You're not going to get past 5.
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, CJ Stroud.
Joe Burrow was awful.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson wasn't great. Jalen Hurts didn't look great.
No.
All right. How many great quarterbacks are there? Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. And after that, there's nobody right now that I would tell you. CJ Stroud, maybe.
CJ Stroud. Stafford had a good game too.
Fudge. I'm forgetting about Brock Purdy.
Oh,
Brock.
Say
what you will about Brock Purdy. He doesn't have games where he disappears. Right?
Right.
So there's a lot of the quarterback play in the NFL right now scares the bejesus out of me betting wise. But I'll tell you, and I'll hold these up. These are in Washington State where I live, you cannot bet except at an actual Native American casino on sports. There's no online, there's none of that. My preferred casino is Little Creek. It's a very friendly place to go bet. It's not huge. It's not scary. It's a fun place to go and place a bet. And here's what I've got. Baltimore Ravens -8.5 at home with the Raiders coming to town. Christian.
Baltimore Ravens. I like the Baltimore Ravens +8.5. -8.5.
-8.5.
Yeah. -8.5 against the Raiders. I like it.
I don't care if it was -25 versus the Raiders coming to Baltimore. I'm on Baltimore. Pittsburgh Steelers going to Denver. I'm taking the Steelers on the money line minus 150, minus 140, which means I have to bet $140 to win 100. I do not believe that Bo Nix can survive the Steelers' defense.
It's going to be tough. But I want to stay away from that game. I don't like choosing any games when it's two bad teams because just chaos can happen.
Where did I hear that before?
That's a lose.
Where did I hear that before? That's one of loudesmon's main rules. And you're right. I am doing it in this case, Christian, because I simply don't believe that Bo Nix and the Denver offense will score more than 6 points. I can't see it.
10.
I believe that they may score 10 at the high end, but the Steelers are good for at least one pick six, strip sack for a touchdown,
20 points.
kick return, something. They're going to score 17, and I think the ceiling for the Denver is 10. Los Angeles Rams. This is interesting. The Rams were minus 1.5 when this line opened, going to the Cardinals. The Rams are now catching 1 point. I took the Rams +1 in this game, which means it's basically a pick 'em.
Yep.
I do not believe Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals have the horses to stay up with the Rams because the Rams have Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, a good tight end, a strong offensive line.
That's the issue. Their offensive line, 3 out of their 5 starting offensive linemen are out.
Understood. But the Rams have depth. The Rams have weapons. Tell me the offensive weapons on the Arizona Cardinals that scare you.
James Conner and Marvin Harrison Jr. The only
Okay.
two.
What did Marvin Harrison do in his
Yeah,
first
one
game?
reception for 4 yards.
Right. What do wide receivers coming into the NFL normally take to get good? How many years?
About
3.
3. Yeah.
Year 3 is when they usually start really coming into their own.
Yeah, but guys like that are the exception to the rule. He's going to get in his groove.
Yeah. Show me first.
Yeah, believe that.
All right. Eagles. The Eagles. They are minus 6.5 with the Atlanta Falcons coming to Philadelphia. This is my lock of the week. With Kirk Cousins is not healthy. There is no way you put Kirk Cousins in shotgun all game long when the game that he always excelled at was running the ball with a running back and then using that success to be very successful in play action. And you don't, the only reason you do that is because he can't move. The Achilles isn't right. So maybe that's not my lock of the week. It's close between these two games.
Yeah. I like that pick a lot.
Just 49ers -5 at the Vikings.
-5. Yeah, it's moved to 5.5 now. I still like. I would honestly like the 49ers.
Francisco -13 in that game.
Yeah, like 10 points. -10, I'd still like them in that game.
Right. Seahawks -3. They're at home with the Patriots coming to town. The only reason why the Seahawks aren't favored by a touchdown or more is because the Patriots beat the Bengals last week. And the question is that more good Patriots or bad Bengals? And I'm going to say it's bad Bengals last week.
Yeah. Is that all your picks for the week, Loud?
Those are my NFL picks.
However,
I have a parlay card I love. So a parlay card strategy that I have is here's what happens. You don't make any money betting overwhelming favorites unless you're willing to take some huge spread line, which I don't like to do. But however, take a bunch of heavy favorites and put them on one ticket, and you get the odds to shift. So tell me this, Christian.
Yep.
Are the Ravens going to beat the Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are the Eagles going to beat
Yes.
the Falcons in Philadelphia?
Yes. They don't even have to pass the ball.
Will San Francisco beat the Vikings?
Yes.
Yes. Will the Chiefs beat the Bengals at Arrowhead?
Yeah.
Will the Georgia Bulldogs beat Kentucky?
1 minute.
Ask me.
1 minute.
Will Ole Miss win against Wake Forest?
Yes.
Will Oklahoma beat Tulane?
Yeah.
Great. That $75 ticket with all those teams on it, if you win it, pays you back $521.65 at Little Creek Casino and Resort, and that's an actual bet I have.
Yep. All right, everyone.
Folks, you can take a bunch of favorites and pile them all up and get great odds.
Yes, everyone.
It's a
That has
great
been-
strategy as a sports bettor.
That's Loud Esmond's parlay. Just to get my pick out of the way, I like the Colts -2.5 going ahead in next week's game. Thank you everyone for listening to Steer Line. We will see you guys next